Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we're having a look at something here today. We're having a little bit of a holiday, Christmas extravaganza, birthday, anniversary. It's just basically if you've got an everyday carry person in your life, and you're looking for a couple of ideas. These are things that I've carried, things that I really like, and things that work for me. And it's just going to give you guys a little bit of an idea, whether you're an everyday carry person yourself, or if you're here for the first time at the channel, looking for something for your significant other. Hopefully we can provide some ideas for you. We're going to look at some stuff that's not very expensive to some fairly expensive stuff here. So we should be running the gamut on a lot of that. Let me grab a couple of stocking stuffers. I know that these are three things that I carry with me all the time. The first one being just Gorilla Glue. You know what? This is not going to be like your 25th wedding anniversary present or anything like that, but I bet you there's a lot of folks out there who don't realize how handy Gorilla Glue can be. And if you're just looking for a stocking stuffer, that's one of them. Another one here is I found these here kind of by accident. These are Milwaukee. This one happens to be a chisel tip Inkzall. And I was always using kind of markers throughout my life. It's in my bag, and they're so handy to have, like, whether I was doing a little bit of carpentry, kind of a little bit of on-the-spot carpentry, or I wanted to leave a note or a message on something that wasn't easy to write on, or especially sharpening knives. I would blow up my markers all the time, and I've had about a pack of 4 of these. They happen to be on sale at Home Depot. Now, I would suggest, these are quite pricey. These ones here, I mean, for a marker, they're $9.98 here Canadian. I do believe in the States there's some around $5 or $6. But if you can get them on sale for $2, load up on them and give them to your everyday carry significant other. I'm sure he or she will love them. This other little thing here too as well. This actually is an Olight universal battery charger that charges nickel, basically rechargeable batteries. And I don't always have time to carry, I used to have a lot of lights and a lot of things that would come with AA batteries or AAA batteries. And so I would always stop off at IKEA and grab a 4-pack of IKEA AA or AAA. And I've got the big charger at home that you can, lay about 50 of them in there. But sometimes you're on the road and your light is, a AA and it runs a little bit low, where you could, if you've got yourself any spot where you can plug in a USB-A, this just clicks on the end. There is no positive or negative. It self-reads. And it starts charging it and does a fairly quick job charging it, depending upon what kind of brick you're putting it in. These here on the Olight websites were about $9. And I do believe they're kind of sold out, not available, but you can spot them in places too as well. I know Walmart Canada actually sells them, and they're a little bit expensive. I know AliExpress sells a version, not as good quality, I would say, but still something that's kind of just thought-provoking if you want to look at a present for your everyday carry person. Now, speaking of lights, these lights here, I'm just going to kind of pick on Olight because Olight has been my light of choice for the last little bit. I had all sorts of lumen top, a night core. I've had a whole bunch of lights, and I just really have found that I do like the Olight model of the way they do things. I like their product. So far, I've had no issues with warranty. I know that a long time ago when Olight first started up, there was perhaps some issues with quality, but I have not noticed anything. I have beat the hell out of every Olight I've ever had, and I've not had to warranty it yet, knock on wood. This one here happens to be the wireless charger with I do believe this is called the Baton 4, and this thing here is fantastic. Just let me make sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure this is the Baton 3 or 4. Let's go. Yeah, sorry, the Baton 4. Now you can get the light just itself, and it comes with like a little magnetic charger that goes to the USB, or you can also get it with this little charging case. This one happens to be kind of a special edition brass, but you definitely don't need to have this brass edition. I do believe it's sold out, but what I love about this light is it's just so handy. Not only do I, now every night when I get home, I just basically plug it in and I leave it sitting on my nightstand, and I get up in the morning, take it out, and it's charged as can be. And you can see here, I've got 98% left charging capacity in this, and this thing will last forever. And this little Baton 4 is so bright. It's so small and it just does a fantastic job. But you've also got some other lights on there if you're interested. If you're interested, this one happens to be the Arcfield Pro, and this one's pretty neat too. It goes quite bright too as well. I do believe it's a little over 1,000 or 1,500, or I do believe it's 1,300 lumens. But you can also, this one here has a UV and it also has a laser, which is cool. And I drive my cat or my daughter's cat crazy with this, and my big old hound. I drive him crazy with it too. So it's quite fun, and it's got the UV. Now we don't want to get signs too much UV around my bedroom, but you can use it if you go to a hotel and you really want to find out what's on that bedspread. Shine that UV on there, and you tell me if you sleep on that bedspread that night. And then lots of times too with Olight, they've got little small gifts that they either send out as a package. Sometimes they've got packages where they'll just, because this one came free when I bought this Olight Arcfield Pro, but you can also buy these right from the store, and they're fairly inexpensive. And this one happens to be just a little light that you can, that you just basically, it's got a little USB charging port in it, and it's a bright little light that goes on your keychain, and it will light up the night quite a bit for such a small little light if you're getting inside of your house at night. There's all sorts of things. You can actually run, I do believe the most expensive Olight that I saw out there was, I think, a Javelin or Javelot. It can throw light, I think 2 miles, and you're looking at a big carrying case, and it's like a sling with it because you can't carry it with one hand. Like it's like $400 or $500. So you can spend a lot of money, but for the most part, Olight is fairly reasonable for what you're getting. You're getting excellent optics, you're getting excellent batteries, excellent design, excellent warranty, and I don't think you'll worry if you get yourself or your everyday carry person in your life an Olight light. I'm sure they'll appreciate it very, very much. Now let's have a look at some other stuff out here. Just kind of keep in pace with the electronics, because there is no, oh, this is the most expensive thing or least expensive thing. These are just some ideas. One of them happens to be here, and you can see this one here. I have used this and beat the hell out of this for such a long time. This one here is a Luxtude 28600 PD, and it is the largest battery that you can put on a plane. Now, they may have changed the rules, but nobody told me. But when I bought it, it has it'll charge my iPhone 6 times. It'll charge my iPad Pro, I do believe, 3 times. And it does it so fast. Like, I've got some pretty fast charging equipment that if I put my phone on it, it's supposed to quick charge. But if I this happens to be the fastest thing that charges anything that I own, is this little thing right here. Now, this one here comes with a 45-watt charger that will charge us from absolutely stone cold dead to full in 3 hours. So that's pretty good for the amount of power that's in here. Now, I don't remember. They say 26,800, so it might be 26,800 googly doos that charges your phone. But I do know this one is the most powerful one that you can get on a plane. Now, I am going to leave this the same thing here. I'm going to put on Amazon, because I do believe that Luxtude and Anker are the same company, or maybe one bought out the other one, because I do know, okay, when I first got this Luxtude, it came with a 45 watt battery or charging cable, and the charging battery bank, the charging brick wasn't working. It was something, it wouldn't plug in properly. And so I ended up, sending an email to Amazon. The seller ended up saying, hey, we've got these other ones, and he sent me an Anker one. So the Anker one worked perfectly fine. Meanwhile, down the road, I ended up having a closer look at the Luxtude one, and all it was a little bit of flashing when they molded the little plug. All I took was a little tiny bit of sandpaper and just give it a little bit of a sand, and then it plugged in perfectly. And now I've got two 45-watt power banks or charging bricks. But fantastic. Love this. Absolutely love this. I never leave home without this big monster. And it's not that she's not that heavy. I mean, it's probably about a pound or so, but hey, man, if I have to be stuck in a car going across the country, I don't have to worry about my my iPad running out of juice because this thing will charge it 3 times. And then the other thing here too as well. This thing here right here has saved my bacon more than once, and it happens to be an Apple AirTag. These things are fantastic. I have one in my wallet right now, and I ended up leaving my wallet on top of the self checkout cashier, and I ended up driving away, and my phone notifies me because I have an iPhone that, hey, you've left something behind. And I looked on the little map and I saw, oh, what the hell is my wallet? It's not with me. And then I kind of panicked, and so I went back to the store and it was gone. And I thought, oh my goodness, what happened to my wallet? Is somebody using my credit cards right now? But this also has a couple of different modes where it only shows you on the map where it is, but it shows you that if you're getting to be within 30 meters from it, it points an arrow. So you could actually zoom right in. You could actually arrow right into it and walk right into the thing. And so my wallet was behind. Somebody had turned it in, thankfully. And I'd asked Lost and Found. And Lost and Found first said, no, nobody turned it in. I used my little app on my phone, my Find My app, and I ended up finding it inside a little cabinet off to the side of where the lost and return was. So they obviously, somebody thought, hey, I better put this away better than just in a lost and found box. And so I made it go beep. The lady said, oh, I can hear it now. And she grabbed it, and man, she gave it to me. And I was so happy this thing was in it, because replacing your credit cards, and not to mention the 42 cents I had in there too as well. I mean, you don't want to lose that kind of money. But yeah, Apple AirTag, and you can buy them individually or packs of 4. Once in a while, they go on sale at Costco, which is unheard of. You know, usually Apple stuff doesn't go on sale, but if you're a Costco member, keep your eyes open. They sell them, and they do put them on sale. Definitely worth it to have a 4-pack. All right. Let's get on to a couple other things here. If you're an everyday carry guy, you're going to get yourself, or you're going to want yourself, a pry bar. Hang on, I'm going to have a sip of my juice of the gods. How's that for ASMR? My juice of the gods is nothing more than tonic water. And I know some people absolutely hate drinking tonic water, but fun fact for you kids, tonic water has quinine in it, and quinine helps with leg cramps. So I take some medication every day, along with a couple of cans of this tonic water, and my leg cramps go away. And it's insane. I get up in the middle of the night, and I almost like I'm doing the 100-yard dash. I fly to bed so fast, my hamstring cramps up so bad, I got to walk around, wake up my wife, wake up the whole family. It's an awful, awful thing. But a little bit of magnesium and some tonic water, and a lot of those things go away. All right. So I've got a smattering of pry bars here, and this one here happens to be for sale. This Vero, and I mean, you can get these. These kind of don't need to break the bank either. You got a couple of more expensive ones. This is a Lynch clip here. This one here happens to be a Vero. And then we've got, stuff like here, the CRKT one here. You've got the Gerber Shard. You've got the Leatherman Bruiser. You've got a Leatherman Bruiser kind of knockoff. I mean, this one was like $16. This one here was, I don't even know where I got that one from. This Shard here was very inexpensive, but it's a handy little tool. Then you got something that's a little bit bigger that kind of hooks on with the CRKT. I think that was like $9 or $10. This one here happens to be, I think, this one here is a special edition Star Wars version. It's got the lightsabers on it, as well as the Stormtrooper medallions underneath there. These new now, I do believe, are about $135, roughly American. This one here is 120 Canadian because I got it for sale. It comes with the extra bits and the little O-rings there too as well in the case. And then we've got something here like the Lynch clip. If you're an everyday carry guy or an everyday carry person in your life, will love a Lynch Northwest pry bars. This guy was famous for making a lot of these deep carry clips too as well. And he makes these in all different sizes. He makes some great big ones, but I really like this little gold one. As you can see, I've beaten the hell out of it. It's really stood up. This thing is so light. I was so blown away at how well this stands up. And I'm surprised that I just kind of stopped carrying it, but I think it's going to go right back in the pocket here today because this one here was just a little bit too long for my pocket, and it kind of stuck out and it poked me in the roll. And if you know what that is, you're just like me. You're a guy who walks around and says, "Get in my belly." So Lynch Northwest makes all sorts of these. I'm going to put both of these here in the description. So any of this stuff here too, I got to say, is I am not sponsored by any of these folks. Nobody's paying me nothing. I purchased all this stuff with my own money, and I'm not getting a dime if you guys go buy that stuff. Just make sure that you sell them. Just make sure that if you can, tell them the Big Canucker sent you. I would appreciate that, because that just builds up some goodwill from me or for me in the industry. And perhaps one day they will send me a Lynch Northwest Big Canucker version of one of these or something like that. But just really like this Lynch. And I'm going to take this out because I'm going to carry that today. All right, so let's get the rest of this stuff gone, and we'll move on to some other stuff that's really good for your significant other. This right here. This, as you can see, I do use these myself. This is an Apple AirTag, and it is on a key bar. Now, this key bar here is, I had a few of these things, and basically what they are is they're kind of key holders, right? And I had a bunch of these. I had one that had its own built-in kind of GPS thing. Can't remember what it is right off the top of my head, but it just was not, as rugged as I liked. And so far, this one has been fantastic. I have beaten the hell out of these keys. These haven't loosened up one bit. My other one, I had to kind of periodically every week or so tighten it up because it was getting sloppy, and it just bugged the hell out of me. And the quality of this is insane. Now, the other thing is these things come in all sorts of configurations. This key bar, I'm going to leave a website there leave the key bar website here in the description, and you can go have a look for yourself. You can buy these things in titanium. This one happens to be just basically aluminum. I wanted the least expensive one because I didn't have a very good experience with some of the other ones, but this one is fantastic. It's even got a little pocket clip if you decide that you want to not have, a lanyard here with a key bar. If you just want to throw these in your pocket, you can get little like knives that kind of fit inside there. You can get little tools that fit inside there along with your keys, and it will go quite thick and hold a tremendous amount of keys, and it'll do it with style, panache, and quality. Oh my goodness, I was reading my dictionary. All right, so yes, definitely would recommend a key bar. If your guy has got a whole schwack load of keys all over the place, even a couple of them. I have one for my camper and my kind of shed keys and stuff like that, and it's the other one that I can't remember who the other one is, but I don't like it near as much as I like this key bar. So yeah, so here you go. Hold the phone, we forgot to talk about pens. Yeah, we just broke into that video there because I had to shoot this. I forgot to talk about these pens. They were sitting right there with his field notes. Every everyday carry guy, girl, guy, gal, mother, father, brother, sister, uncle, they want themselves a great pen. And if you're looking for something that's a great pen, go no further. Tactile turn. I ended up getting this one here at a place called Thunderbird Gear, and this one here I got on the secondary market. I'm going to leave you guys the addresses here for Thunderbird Gear to buy something like this, as well as Tactile Turn itself. This is a first generation. This is a second generation. They are slightly different, as you can tell, but they're absolutely fantastic. And they're called bolt action pens. And if you're looking for a notepad, Field Notes is an excellent brand. This one here happens to be. Now, I'm going to have to change the ink that's inside here because this ink here is not waterproof, but the paper is waterproof. And so I'm either going to have to get some quicker dry ink, or I'm going to have to get one that's not waterproof. This one here happens to have the little grid line, or little grid dots to make it kind of almost like a paragraph or that you can draw lines if you need to. I like that because there's little imaginary lines if you have to write, but there's also, You can plot out maps and stuff like that if you need to do. And I use this all the time. So yeah, if your everyday carry person needs a pen, a tactile turn is absolutely one of the best ways to go. There are so many of them out there too as well. But I'm just going to leave a link for the tactile turns because they are currently my favorite. And I am going to get myself a different tactile turn here pretty soon. They've got button locks and then they've got plunger locks here, as you can see, or bolt actions. And then they've got click, 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 click. So there's some clicky ones and there's some bolt action ones. But let's get back to your regular scheduled programming. We're going to move on to some couple of little tools here. All right, so this here happens to come from a gentleman by the Skiff Workshop in the good old US of A. He makes these bearings, and these bearings are fantastic. I've got them in some of my knives. I'm going to do a review on the bearings that I got. I'm also going to redo it. I haven't reviewed these yet, but they're super fantastic. And what they are is they're called finger bits. It just sounds a little bit dirty. I don't know why. Finger bits. But you just basically put your 1/4-inch bit in there, one in there, and you can use it to, adjust your knife. And it's just this little small, handy thing that you don't, because most of the time knives, you're not worried about kind of, having to reef on it unless it's got red thread locker in it, and then you're in trouble. But I mean, that's just something that's there. They make these in multiple different colors. They machine them in house, and you know what? If you do decide that you want to buy there. If you want to go, I'll leave the link to purchase these here. But if you want to buy some stuff though over at the Skiff Workshop, there is a code and it is called TBC, the Big Canucker, and get yourself 10% off some of the stuff there in the shop. So put that away. This here happens to be a Hoto Tools magnetic. It's got a little magnetic enclosure there, and it's just a precision screwdriver. And I use this in kind of a breakdown kit that I have. And I just keep it in there because it's got just handy little things. It comes with, I can't remember, 42 bits or so, but there's double-ended bits. And they're kind of, the only thing that I really kind of have a tiny bit of a knock on here is I haven't been able to find these little double-ended bits. So I think they're kind of a proprietary thing. I do believe they're, they do, the opening on here is, I do believe it's 5/32, so that's fairly standard, but haven't been able to find a lot of these in there. But it is, it's super smooth. It's very precise, and that's a great gift to give your other. And it's not going to break the bank either. I think there's some around, $43 or $29 if you're in the States or so. But that's Hoto Tools. And this one here happens to be made by a friend of mine by the name of Chris. He's out in Quesnel, BC. And I have to say that, I'm going to review this, and I have another one coming as soon as the Canada Post strike ends. But I wanted to just kind of throw this in there because I do believe he's shipping right now through other folks. But he hand builds these in his shop. The quality of this is absolutely spectacular, and it's not going to break the bank as well. I mean, this one here was $150. Like, these bearings that he uses in here are super smooth. The machining is top notch. Another thing too as well is he does the anodization in house too as well. So these come in titanium, brass, steel, and he's not a super long time machinist. I mean, he only took up machining, I do believe, a couple years ago, and he has, he's become, I would say, a master. Like, when you do stuff like this, and it's just, you've only been doing it for a little short time, you're definitely a prodigy. And he's not breaking the bank. Like I said, this one's $150. I'm sure that you could spend less or you can spend more depending upon what you want, but you're going to get, lifetime service from this guy, and you're going to get tools that will absolutely last a lifetime. And if you're a guy, or if you're a person out there who has a knife nerd in your life, something like this is such a unique gift that just is one of those things that if my wife bought this for me, it would bring a tear to my eye, because she knows that I appreciate fine things, and I'm going to treat my knives with fine things. And I would just love it so much. So Chris at the Sharp Shack there, you're going to see his his address there, his Facebook page in my description down here. Contact him and get yourself some custom made bit drivers. They also come with the wear of bits too as well. He sends along bits that go along with them, and yeah, and then he also sent me a second one right now that's kind of stuck in Canada Post. That's why we're not doing the review, because I want the second one in there too, and it's gorgeous. I wish I could show it to you, but you will get to see it on the channel. But don't forget to contact Chris at the Sharp Shack there. I'll leave his phone number and his Facebook address, and you can order one of these for your significant other or even yourself. All right, let's go move on here. Another just a quick little tool here. This here happens to be the Cobra XS by a company called Knipex, and it's just a wicked little wrench, like a little pair of pliers, and it's let's just see here. It is, I think you can go to 1.5 inches wide if you need to grab a hold of it. The way it's designed that you can really reef on it. So as you're kind of pressing on it, this side here, so if you're putting all your weight here, so let's say you put your whole body weight on there to turn, this is tightening. So as you're turning and you're pushing on it, there's no way that that's going to slip. I have another Knipex tool here that's a little bit bigger, and I was told that you could change the lug nuts on a car with it, and I was a little bit skeptical, and I ended up taking it, and I didn't have a car right handy, but I took the lug nuts off a forklift, and a big forklift too. So I was blown away by Knipex, or some people call them Knipex. But this one here happens to be the Cobra XS. So that basically stands for extra small. It's a whole lot of tool and not a lot of space. And that's what my wife tells me all the time. But hey man, they all fit somewhere. Okay, let's move on to some other things here too as well. Speaking of tools, let's go on to a couple of things that I think that you should get your significant other. Is a multi-tool. And not only multi-tool, and I've got two different brands here too as well. I've got the Victorinox right here, and this one happens to be the Victorinox Spirit. And I'm going to leave, and there is a huge debate. What is better? And, you know, I don't want these two to touch because they will explode. So you've got the Victorinox Spirit X here, and then you've got your Wave, which is kind of, I do believe the Wave is the #1 selling, or close to the #1 selling multi-tool that is out there in multi-tool land. But these two here are both equally capable in their own ways, and they are something that you can never go wrong. And this one here is really old, as you can tell by, I use this and beat the hell out of it, and this one here too as well. They each have their own kind of, their own, let's just see, their own pluses and minuses, pros and cons, but you can't go wrong with either one. If your guy is or gal is wants something a little more premium, you've got something like this, which is the Charge, which is very similar to the Wave, but this one here happens to be titanium, so it's a little bit lighter. It's got a little bit better steel in the blade. And these are a little bit old school too as well. Right now, which I don't have, which I do want to get, is something called the Leatherman Arc. That is kind of the flagship right now. And I definitely want to get one. I think they're fantastic. And there's a lot of magnetic detent and stuff going on in the Arc. And I just want to try one out. I think they're fantastic. But this one here, to me, is the big daddy of them all. This one here is the Leatherman Surge. And the Surge, I do believe, in my opinion, is the most capable multi-tool that is out there for all-around use. But it's heavy. It's 12 ounces. It's not something that I carry in my belt pocket because it just was way too heavy for me to carry every day. And I'm not like a little wee waif of a man either. I'm 6'3" and 280 pounds. And I liked having something a little bit lighter on my pocket, but I do carry this in my bag. And it comes with, I have a little ratchet on the side. I've got a little extender too as well. And then I've got some extra kind of bits in the back there and blades. So I can do a whole lot with this Surge. So that's, to me, it's the ultimate multi-tool for working. But if you want something everyday carry, I would say either Victorinox or this Victorinox Spirit or this Leatherman Wave or Charge. Those two there, super light. All three of those are super light. Now, we left this one here off to the side because it is not a multi-tool, but it is still something that is amazing. This one here happens to be the Raptor. Now, they can call them, like some people, you call them trauma shears. Some people call them scissors. They are scissors. Some people call them a waste of money, but I don't, because these things are super tough and they are super comfortable and they cut through everything, including a penny. I've cut a penny in half with this. The only thing I don't really cut with this is a lot of paper. Here, oh, I'm losing my page here. All right, yeah. So I'm losing it, but yeah, no, I really, really enjoy this. There's a couple other tools on here. They consider this little clip here a tool. Right here is an oxygen wrench that's here. It's also, you've got yourself a hook for undoing seat belts and stuff like that. And you can just kind of basically wrap it down like that. You can just take it, and it's kind of a clothes ripper if you want. It's locks into place too. There is rulers too. You got a metric and a, is there more than one? I thought there was more than one. Raptor, so it is metric here. So I guess there is no imperial one there. Oh, I gotta read that there. Nope, just in centimeters. And yeah, I can really, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't tell, but I'm pretty sure that I thought there was two of them in there, but I guess I was wrong. But this here, the cutting ability of this is phenomenal. Now, anytime I have any heavy duty cutting to do inside my home, this is what I use. I mean, if I got some crazy thick cardboard, it goes through it like a knife, hot knife through butter, crazy like plastic. I could take this literally and just cut this whole thing in half. Like if you can cut a penny in half with a set of knives, with a set of scissors, and then just rock it through something else, man, oh man, it's an awesome pair of scissors. Now you can actually get some really cool customized versions of this. There's one that's kind of purple anodized with glow in the dark here. They've got another one here. Let me see if I can find it. Leatherman. So they've got the Raptor Rescue, and then I think they've coming out with a new version too as well. The Raptor Response. So there is a couple of different versions of this. I do believe this is the Raptor Rescue. And what the response is, the difference is, I don't know. I'll have to maybe get a pair just to check it out so I can let you guys know. But you can't go wrong with a pair of these scissors. Now this thing here pops into the case. Now this little thing here, you can carry this way, or you can actually adjust it to the side, and you can side carry it too as well. And it does have decent retention, so it's not going to go anywhere. Yeah, you can put this on some molly. Yeah, I just think it's an awesome little tool. And it's not super expensive too. Right now, I do believe it's less than $100 in Canada here. And if it's less than $100, it's $134 in Canada. But I do believe in the US it'll be less. The Response scissors are $82.46 on sale. Maybe the Big Canucker should get himself a pair. All right, let's move on to some other stuff here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. Give myself a nice drink of tonic water. Oh, there's another thing I forgot. Chris, my buddy who made the bit driver, he also makes wicked like titanium beads and other beads. I have this one here, which I had at a knife that I just actually ended up trading away for a watch. And then also I have another one that's carbon fiber, and he does a smoking job of these. So yeah, I mean, the anodizing is so cool. I forgot to mention that. That's just kind of a little off the side. When you're talking to Chris, don't forget to ask him about the beads. Hey, I'm sure he could even make some beads for the bedroom if that's what you're into. Okay, let's go on to some other stuff here. Oh, a couple of bags. Let's go over a couple of bags here. This one here happens to be the just the Maxpedition And this is kind of basically an EDC bag. I'm trying to think of what it's called here. Maxpedition. Maxpedition. Well, it's basically an EDC pouch is what it is. I bought this one off of Amazon. Let's just see if I can find it. And it's just a great little bag. And I use it to go on my trip. I've got a little light aluminum top light in there. I had some tools in here. I had a pocket knife in there too as well. I had a whole bunch of cables in here. Just a great little thing if you're looking for, it could hang my keys in there. I put my notepad back in there. And right now I've got some spare air tags in there, but that I haven't had a chance to assign yet. But I really, really dug this bag. And it's really, really handy. Now you can get like fatter versions too as well. You can get one called the EDC fatty version. And you can get ones that are a little bit smaller too as well. And that's what I think I want to try to get, is something smaller to put right inside my front pocket. This one here is always good though to isolate things. And right now I'm going to be using this just to keep all my cables and cords in. And I just wish it was a little bit thicker, a little bit fatter. Let's just see if it is. Oh my goodness. Breaking stuff. Yeah, she might fit inside there. If I can get this to fit inside there, I'm going to use this as my my little battery pack. So, yeah. All right. And then the other thing I have here is this here. Let's see if I can see that in there. This one here happens to be the Maxpedition Remora Gunslinger, or Gear Slinger. Hello. But it is now called the Lunada Gear Slinger. And the Lunada is, you can still buy this one on Amazon. And this one here you can get on the Maxpedition website. The Lunada, it's supposed to have kind of be a little bit bigger, better version of this that gives you a little more back space or bag space. But I found that this one here was absolutely awesome. I mean, it's got this front little bit here. It's got another case that's right inside there. And you can see that it's all got sorts of just cool things. You want to hang your keys inside there, because there's nothing worse than kind of trying to find your keys and in a bag where you can just hang your keys on here and it's immediately just grab it, pull it out. There you go. See, I've even got some stuff here. These are little glass. These are for cleaning glasses. They're little wipes that I get. But I like the fact that there's Velcro inside. There's a separator there. There's a main pack here. There's a one in the back. The only thing and it does have it. Right here is a backpack part here, or not backpack, but another pouch here that can snap closed. And that's where I actually used to put my big battery in there. And I felt that it was just, for the time being, this was the right size. I really, really enjoyed it. You could actually put a drink in this front thing here. It would carry a drink across the front. And I used to have some fairly large Maxpedition bags when I was out working, because it would carry all sorts of things. I would have all my cables. I would have a battery booster in there. I'd have a pump. I'd have all sorts of things there, because I hated being caught unawares, especially when I was at work, because my work, I would travel all over the countryside. And as when I hurt myself, that kind of went to the wayside, and I wanted something smaller. So I didn't take this, but I just felt that I was overloading this. So I do have this still. I use this all the time. If I'm going out on a little bit of a shopping expedition, I'll throw my wallet in there. I'll throw a few things in there, and it's a great little, almost like a Merce. Yeah, it's like a Merce to have, a man bag. And it's not super expensive. I mean, the $137 on the website, and this particular one at Amazon, I do believe it's $129, and it's worth every single penny. The Maxpeditions are pricey, but they are so tough. So tough. If you saw how I beat the hell out of these bags, you'd be amazed. Now, they've got like YYK zippers. They're all double stitched. They're made in, I don't think they're made in China. I think they're made in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, American design, made in Vietnam, but they do a tremendous job. I have yet to tear a Maxpedition bag. And I even have like a Maxpedition briefcase that I bashed all the time. I ended up trying to cheap out and I bought one in Montana. I can't remember the name brand, but it looked like it was as tough as a Maxpedition. But within 6 months, I had ended up, one of the zippers completely caved in, and I noticed on one of the corners here was starting to tear too as well. And I just thought, hey, I'm going to go back to Maxpedition. Fairly loyal to them. I don't buy a lot of new Maxpedition because they are quite pricey. I keep my eyes open on our local kind of used website on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. And that's where I get the majority of my stuff there. But in a pinch, hey, I would go brand new right to the Maxpedition website. If I wanted something, I would get one there for there. So I'm going to leave this in the. I'm going to leave this in the link. Leave a link in the description for this one, the new one, and the Maxpedition website, so you can go check out some of that stuff your own self. Now, a couple other things here. We're going to get into some maintenance items. These here are really, really excellent knife sharpeners. This one happens to be a company called WorkSharp. This one here is the guided field sharpener, and it can keep a knife going. If you're in the field and you're hunting and you get a bag of moose or a big game, moose hair can dull a knife like you would not believe. And I really, really have had to use, I've used this. I actually wore one of them completely out, or not completely out, but I wore one out quite a bit. So this is my second one here too. And my first one, I must have sharpened 300 knives on it. I go to a friend's place and he would like say, hey man, like I got this knife here, even a kitchen knife. It's not doing too well. Can you help me out with it? Yeah, no problem. I pull this out of my bag and zing, 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 zing. 10 minutes later, he's shaving hair. And it is that good. It's got a little guided system on it. So if you're a significant other or child or mother or father or grandfather doesn't know how to sharpen knives, this has actually got guides to do it. And it comes with little instructions too as well. So you can actually basically set it at 20 degrees, run it across, set at 20 degrees, run it across. It also comes with other cool things too as well. It comes with a broadhead wrench. So if you could use it to sharpen your arrows too as well. So you can use that to kind of unhook the broadhead. And then on this side, it's got just inside there, there's a little how to use it. You can take that out of there if you want. If you already know how to use this, you don't have to put it in there. And you could put some survival stuff in there. You could put some lighting stuff in there. You could put some I don't know, you could put some LSD in there for all I care, but you can put some stuff inside there, make your trip go very, very fast. The other thing too that I did is this came with like a green chromium kind of stuff on there. I ended up kind of cleaning it off, and I put diamond on there because most of the knives that I sharpen are quite hard, and I put little 1 micron diamond paste on there, and it works very, very well. The other thing here is this is the Victorinox 2-step sharpener, and this is fantastic in its own right, especially if you're carrying a little Swiss Army knife. Hello, this will sharpen it right up in about 2 seconds, and it's about the size of a pen. So basically you've got your sides here, and you just take your knife, and then you hone it with here. So this is actually, I'm not a big fan of pull-through sharpeners, but this one here is basically just a couple of ceramic rods inside there in a V, and it just takes if you've got a big burr built up on your knife, you can just run it through there, and it's just going to knock off that burr. It's mostly what it's doing. It's not necessarily there to, this isn't going to make your edge super smooth. It's mostly there to take off the burr that you've got from the bottom. And it just, like I said, it sits and it fits just like a pen. No problems with that. Honorable mention here too as well. You can get little DMT. You can get little ones that fit inside your wallet. And all they basically are is just a little, you can get a diamond sharpening card. This one happens to be 25 micron or 600 mesh. And DMT is an excellent, excellent brand for diamond sharpening things. And I carried this in my wallet for an awful long time. I just felt that I wanted something a little more versatile that gave me, because this one here gives me a rough, gives me a fine, and then it gives me a super fine with this. And I can do fish hooks with this too as well. So that's why I kind of took this out of my wallet and went with the WorkSharp. All right, we've kind of come to the last little bit of our extravaganza here with some knives. Now, we're all, like if we're everyday carry people, one of the everyday carry things that your wife, your daughter, your son, your husband, your brother, they're going to carry themselves in knives. And there's different types of knives. It's so tough to know somebody's. It's so tough to know somebody's what somebody loves about a knife, somebody's taste. But there are some certain things that I think are just go-tos. And then if I received any of this stuff here, I would be so blown away. And they don't have to be super expensive, although these ones are running the gamut, going pretty expensive. The first one being this little Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Now this one here too can go to, like, I ended up giving this one to my my 10-year-old grandson, and he loved it. And this one happens to be the Victorinox Fieldmaster, and I think it has just about everything you'd need in a Swiss Army knife. I always hate. I'm gonna put that down because I hate that I might slip and I might catch myself on that stupid little short blade that is so sharp. This little short blade is razor sharp. And then, here, let's do this. And then a pair of scissors. All right. And then the other thing that really set me off on this was this. Here, if I can get it out. Here we go. The saw. And then, of course, it's got a little Phillips screwdriver. It's got a little Phillips here because I don't drink. So why would I need a corkscrew? And then it has a package holder, which I invariably have a hard time getting out all the time, which I'm going to leave it there because it just pisses me off. All right. Scissors. Love the scissors on this. Victorinox does such a great job in scissors. These two little knives here, it's nice to have your main blade, but every once in a while, it's good to have a little small one as a backup. And this thing here is fantastic. I can't say enough about the saws in these multi-tools, and these Victorinox are amazing. I ended up coming across a branch. I don't know why. I can't remember why I wanted to cut it down on my work. And I ended up taking this little, I had this thing with me in my bag, and I just opened it up and I zinged through this branch about this big. Oh, I wanted to, yes. I ended up finding this. It was this cool little branch I wanted to build a spoon out of. And it had died, so it was easy. And it went through there like a knife through butter. I was so blown away about this little saw. And just other things too as well. You've got like a little wire bender here. You've got a bottle opener, flat. You can customize these. You can sharpen them up, make it a chisel. This little thing here is it's quite sharp in its own right. You can use these to actually whittle spoons too as well. A lot of people have taken these little things and kind of pounded them concaved, and they've used those for whittling spoons. But other than that, it's a really, really usable can opener. Close this Phillips right there, and then we'll close this scissors. The scissors are excellent, and then the last two of these little blades. And then don't forget, if you need a toothpick, it's got one there. And if you need some tweezers, you can tweeze, go. And that's not going to break the bank out. This is, I think, 66 Canadian, around 47 or 48 bucks US. And I use this to travel with too. If I go to a foreign country and I'm not sure the knife laws, nobody is going to look at a Swiss Army knife and feel offended or be worried about it. And they don't lock. There's no, or at least this one doesn't lock. There's no worry about it. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. Now, the other ones here are, let's go over this one here too. If you have a relative who is who's into like outdoorsness or bushcrafting or hunting, you can't not go wrong with an LT Wright knife. Now you can go to their website and you can see a whole bunch of knives, and they make amazing, amazing knives. You cannot go wrong with that. Now, that's for you folks in the US. In Canada here, I don't happen to have a version here, but I want to get myself one. There's a gentleman out there in, I do believe in Nova Scotia. His name is Kyle Noseworthy. He's got a website, KN Knives, and I want to get myself one of those. So if you're a guy here or a lady out there who has purchased yourself a Kyle Noseworthy knife, a KN knife, and you're a little bit bored about it, I got no problems, sending me one at all. Not whatsoever. The one I would like to get is a yellow fox, and I'm gonna trade or sell a couple of knives out here, and I'm gonna buy myself a yellow fox. And hopefully he has the time to build me one that's a little bit kind of special, because he does do customs too as well. But I'm going to leave his link for his website in the description too as well. Check him out. Support a Canadian guy. And he just started out as a YouTuber, kind of fixing knives and doing knife things. Then he just had a penchant for building knives. And he's come across Canada with a crazy amount of well-built, quality, innovative knives that are just unbelievable. And I would be proud to put one in my pocket, and I'm going to. But yeah, so these two here too as well. Now, purchasing knives for our relatives are so fraught with danger, because there is so much like that a knife can be so personal to a fella, and people like certain things. But I also think that if you're a non-knife person, there's a couple here that just would be everyday carry Hall of Fame knives, and that would be these two right here, ZT 0562 micarta and the Paramilitary 2 micarta. Now, I happen to have the micarta versions because I really, really dig micarta. I just do. This one here happens to have titanium on one side and titanium liner, along with a micarta outside. And this one wasn't the original color. It was kind of a tan. I dyed it red because I liked it. And it's a flipper knife. And it's just one of the best everyday carry knives ever built. And same thing with this one here. This one here happens to be made by a company that is one of my favorite companies, Spyderco. This one here is made by a company named ZT, which is Zero Tolerance, which is Kershaw Knives, kind of high-end division. This one's designed by a guy named Rick Hinderer. Now, this particular one here is Paramilitary 2. And there are so many PM2s out there and different versions. You can get like an absolute base PM2 with just straight G10 S30V steel. You can get ones that have got titanium on them. You get aftermarket scales. I bet you there's probably 30 different Paramilitary 2s that you can purchase out there. Not at once. I mean, there's a lot of them are discontinued. You have to buy them on the secondary market, but there is so many of them out there. And it is just one of those knives that if I got one as a gift, even though I've got this one, if somebody gave me a Paramilitary 2, I would be super happy, because I think it's an excellent, excellent knife. And it hopefully would be something that I didn't have. The only one that I would stay away from, unless your significant other likes things that are camouflage, you can get one that's a camo version. I just dislike that one because I'm just not a big camo guy. But if your husband has got a camo jacket with a camo hat and a camo wrap on his truck, and he drinks his Bud Lights out of a camo cozy, then maybe he'll get himself the Paramilitary 2 camo. Maybe he's the type of guy who would dig it. But just for me, I don't really like it. Kind of stay away from that. That's just my opinion. So Paramilitary 2 by a company called Spyderco, and ZT 0562 that by Zero Tolerance. That happens to be probably the most expensive thing that we've got on the video right now. It's quite pricey. This one here is the base versions are really quite on the Paramilitary 2, they are quite affordable. So you're not either one of these, or you're gonna spend like 6 months' salary or anything like that. Now, do we have any honorable mentions if you can find them? Just a couple of things here too as well. I forgot. And oh, by the way, I am going to be leaving just a picture of the yellow fox here, and just a couple of the products that Kyle Noseworthy has, just for you to check out, because I wish I had one here. He's such a cool guy, and he does such a great job. But yeah, if you can find yourself a Leatherman tread, or even stuff like this, which is on Leatherman's website, which is like a Leatherman, like the scissors, just these pocket, these keychain tools. Leatherman makes some awesome keychain tools. Check those out. And this tread. This tread is a retired tool, but man, if you can find one that's on the secondary market, I know there are some knockoffs out there that are about $40. I don't know the quality of those ones. This one here was an actual one, and I still wear this to this day. I think it actually looks pretty good, and it has. When I was working, I was using this a half a dozen times a week. I just thought they were fantastic. Yeah, I mean, there was little. This one happens to be the metric version, but I mean, because I am the Big Canucker in Canada, so we're metric. But it's got flathead, it's got Robertson, it's got Phillips on here, it's got different screw sizes or bolt sizes. The other thing it had is it even has a spot that you can, right here, you can eject your phone SIM card, and I use this to cut zip ties, and it cut perfectly. It's a fantastic tool. Leatherman tread, just kind of a little bit of a last one out there if you can find one. Well, I sure hope you guys enjoyed this. I sure hope it gave you some ideas. I sure hope it provoked some thought in you. Hope you guys are having yourself a wonderful Merry Christmas. Please stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice. The shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.